One of the trolls really had my hopes up the other day. He was responding to our weekly challenge, where we say, listen, if white people are doing this too, the way trolls say we are all the time, would you please just show me some links? So one of the trolls said, okay, Colin, I've got one for you. And whatever else he said, it was like all confident that it was going to totally shut down everything that we're doing. I opened it up. It was over 100 years old. It was over 110 years old. And that constitutes a pattern of white on black violence. But here we're going to see at least four cases of black on white murder, all in the news on the same day. Plus, we're going to see a case of black on black murder, but it has a lot of witness intimidation in it. So that kind of is a good mix too. But these things are all happening now. And there's no pattern. And these are just a tiny fraction of all the black mob violence, black on white crime, black on white mayhem and chaos out there. And there's no pattern. Whatever.
The murder trial of James Poor just wrapped up for the day. He's charged with murdering 4 women inside their Fairmont Terrace apartments in Tulsa in 2013. News on 6 crime reporter Lori Fulbright has new details from court.
The DA says this whole case started with a little boy, a 3-year-old boy, wandering around outside his apartment in the dead of winter. A woman in the apartment complex noticed him and knew he shouldn't be outside, and that's when she went to the apartment. He led her into his apartment, and that's where she found the 4 women, all of them in a back bedroom, their hands tied behind their backs, all shot at least once in the head, some more than once.
That little boy's mother was one of the murder victims, Rebecca Powell. She lived in the apartment with her twin, Katie Melchor. Their friend, Misty Nunley, stayed there, and Julie Jackson was just visiting that day in 2013. The DA told the jury the trail of death led right to James Poor and his brother Cedric. He said the amount of evidence against James is crushing, that not only did he confess to several people, but DNA evidence and shell casings tied him to the murder scene. He said 3 of the women were found on top of a bed in the bedroom, but Rebecca Powell was found lying underneath the bed. Poor's attorney says no one claimed Poor confessed until a month after the murders, so he believes they had plenty of time to concoct their stories. He says Poor's DNA could have been at the murder scene for months because he had dated one of the victims. And he dismissed the shell casings because no murder weapon was found in this case. He said police first investigated a man who sold drugs to 2 of the victims, and they owed that man $1,900. He says that man was in the cartel, and he believes these murders were committed to send a message.
The first witnesses on the stand have been police officers, and they are walking the jury through the crime scene using photos and videos that they took that day. Now, one of the more interesting witnesses coming up pretty soon will be James Poor's girlfriend. The district attorney told the jury that he had to give her immunity to get her to come in to testify. He even told the jury, you may not like her, but he says James Poor confessed to her. Of course, we'll bring that testimony once it happens. In Tulsa, Lori Fulbright, News on 6.
News since 5 o'clock, we are learning new information about a 21-year-old charged with shooting and killing a pizza delivery man. We got these pictures of the suspects. A 14-year-old also faces charges. Channel 2's investigative reporter Erica Byfield joins us now live from Gwinnett County. And Erica, today you've been able to uncover some troubling information.
Jovita, the 21-year-old is from Chicago. Sources told us that he moved here to get away from his past. And within the last hour, authorities in Chicago told us that there are 22 cases associated with his name in Illinois. If you search for Jermaine Young's Facebook page, you'll find the 21-year-old likes to pose with his watch. We also found a shot of him with 14-year-old Reginald Lofton. Police charged them both with murder, aggravated assault, and armed robbery. Detectives say late Tuesday they robbed, shot, and killed Shane Varnador. Varnador worked for Papa John's. The 28-year-old went to this Lawrenceville apartment complex to deliver 4 pizzas. His mom is heartbroken.
Very sad. And I can't imagine what my life's going to be like without my son. I'm sorry.
We discovered this is not Young's first brush with the law. This is a lengthy case log associated with his name in Chicago. In the past, he's faced a judge for drug charges, domestic violence, robbery, and aggravated battery. Back in Gwinnett County, police are confident that Young and Lofton set Varnador up.
It's a very shocking and disgusting aspect of the investigation, and his life was taken for absolutely no reason.
Young is slated to go before a Gwinnett County judge on Friday. Varnador's mom will be there. She wants answers.
I'm glad that they have caught the guys who did this.
While we were looking for photos of the two suspects, we found some very troubling photos of both of them with guns. They were posing for the cameras. They're just so troubling, we don't want to share them. Reporting.
Mallory, when the witness took the stand today, he rarely made eye contact with anyone, and he never looked at the defendant. At one point during questioning, he broke down in tears. All of this happening in a courtroom where security was very, very tight.
Once court starts, if you are on this floor and you're not going to a certain courtroom, you're going to be asked to leave the floor. There'll be no loitering on this floor.
It was zero tolerance in and around the 4th floor of the Douglas County Courthouse after yesterday's violent disturbance outside of the double murder trial of Charles Trotter. Trotter is accused of shooting to death Marcel Lovejoy and Dexter Joseph last January in the Garden Ridge Apartments near 100th and Fort. This disturbance broke out after 22-year-old Jarrell Haynes was shot and killed near 16th and Victor. Victims say he was followed from the courthouse and then shot and killed at his grandmother's house. Today, Douglas County Sheriff officials turned up security measures. Prosecutors in the case had trouble today when Christopher Evans, a witness who was inside the apartment when the shootings took place, took the stand, answering most of the prosecution's questions with, "I don't remember," or "I don't know." Prosecutors said the witness had been intimidated or threatened. Now, prosecutors asked the judge to declare Evans a hostile witness. The judge did not grant that request. Prosecutors then asked the witness if he had told Douglas County investigators that he received threatening phone calls last night. The witness replied, "I don't remember." The Charles Trotter trial continues tomorrow. Reporting live with photographer Mike Clues, John Chapman, WOWT 6 News.
Thank you, John. Well, the dark cloud hanging over today's proceeding, the shooting death of a man who had tried to attend the trial on Wednesday.
And family members tell us that Jarrell Haynes had just left the courthouse Wednesday morning and someone followed him home. They shot, allegedly, and killed him at his grandmother's house. A prayer walk for the victim and his family that had been scheduled for tonight is being postponed. The group first responder says they've talked with police gang unit and it's, quote, too dangerous to gather at the scene right now.
I was in the gym and I heard a loud bang and kind of didn't really know what it was, and then I heard another one and just instinctually I was in the part of the gym where you can't, there's only one way out, and the shot came from that way, so I just ran outside on the pool deck. And then I didn't really know what to do, and I saw I didn't really know what it was, and then I saw a bunch of people sprinting out as well, and then I realized it was probably a good idea to keep running. And
this gentleman killed a couple of lovely ladies in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. No, they weren't hookers, they were just tourists. I think they were from Los Angeles. People don't know why yet. He said he blacked out before it happened. Apparently there was some kind of beef in a parking garage. Next thing you know, he's pulling out a gun, waiting for them, and shooting them until they were dead. Every once in a while, somebody says, "Colin, why don't you put the links up to these stories?" Well, for two reasons. One, it's actually more work than it's worth. And two, I don't want to get into the explanation business. If you want to explain, if you want the big long explanation of why this guy went and killed people in Las Vegas, or why any of these people were killing other people, go ahead. I couldn't care less. All I know is that black on white crime and black on white murder is wildly out of proportion, and nobody gives a damn. And a lot of people, and the people who do give a damn deny it's even happening. So if you feel the need to go get some explanations, go ahead. Spread them around. If you think that helps. I guarantee you every single one of these killers has a very, 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 very long list of explanations. I call them excuses. Whatever excuse helps you sleep at night, whatever excuse you tell yourself is happening that keeps the boogeyman away from your door at night, go ahead. I don't care. But just remember this. Whatever your excuse, don't make the black kids angry.